Hey guys, are you Kraven? I know I am. Audiences everywhere, they're going crazy for Kraven the Hunter. Well, unfortunately, you're gonna have to enjoy it while it lasts because apparently Sony is shuttering the Sumk. Okay, the Sony universe of Marvel characters, previously known as the Spunk, the Sony Pictures. Wait, oh, was it? Yeah, I think it was a Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters. Either way, whatever the acronym is, apparently it's over. So let's get into this article here. All right, guys. So we're reading from CBR. Technically, it was broken by the Wrap, but the Wrap is putting it behind a paywall. So I'm not going to read paywalled content because I don't think I'm allowed to. I think they might come after me uh, if I were to do that. So we're going to read the CBR report. Is that also cope for me not wanting to pay the subscription fee? Yes, it is. Yeah, let's proceed either way. Kraven the Hunter will reportedly be the final Spider-Man universe spin-off film. Kraven the Hunter is set to release in theaters on December 13th. Everybody's excited. Yes, you're excited. It will mark the third film in Sony's Spider-Man universe released this year after Madam Web and Venom the Last Dance. Madam Web was released this year? I could have sworn that was a 2023 movie. What the fuck? However, Sony will pause the spin-off films after Kraven the Hunter, which also marks the first R-rated film in the universe. I mean, that spells confidence, doesn't it? Right? Like, movie isn't even out yet. Sony is so confident that it will succeed. They're so confident that the word of mouth will build that they're just stopping the whole thing before Kraven is even out. So clearly, Sony thinks they have a good movie on their hands. Per the Wrap, so far, the Spider-Man universe has failed to bring the numbers Sony hoped for. The only big success was the Venom trilogy, but the numbers slightly dropped with each installment. A top talent agent reportedly shared, "They've developed what they want to develop for now. It's really about the next Spider-Man film." And I mean, I kind of predicted this after Venom The Last Dance because, I guess spoiler alert for Venom The Last Dance if you care. Which I think if you care about Venom The Last Dance spoilers, I think you have things in your life that you need to reevaluate. But yeah, when I watched Venom The Last Dance, I was like, okay, so they're killing off Venom, kind of, and then Eddie is no longer Venom, and they're doing the send off to these characters. It's like, how exactly are they going to proceed with this franchise when they no longer have their only viable character? And I mean, it's a comic book movie. Obviously, they can bring Venom back. Obviously, they can have him reunite with Eddie. But I think even more so than that, I think Tom Hardy. I don't think he wants to do Venom movies anymore. I get the vibe that he's done with it. So, in my opinion, they lost their only viable character. And nothing else that they've done has popped off. I highly doubt that Kraven the Hunter is popping off. As much as I would love for it to be the case, I don't think audiences are actually Kraven. So yeah, I mean, I basically predicted this after Venom: The Last Dance that Sony just was gonna pause or not even pause. I predicted that they're just gonna stop making these spin-off movies. So, not that it's a crazy prediction, to be clear. I'm just saying. The biggest issue with the Sony Spider-Man spinoff seems to be the lack of quality control. That's an understatement. The movies just aren't good, another Sony insider explained. Sometimes that lack of quality meets a movie no one asked for, which was the case with Madam Web. I would argue that's the case with most of these. I don't know. I'm just sitting here wondering who out there was asking for a Morbius movie? Who out there was asking for a Kraven the Hunter movie? I don't know that we can necessarily pick on just Madam Web here. I think a lot of the Sony universe of Marvel characters can truly be summed up with why? Sometimes that lack of quality meets a movie no one asked for, which was the case with Madam Web, and that is a no-win scenario. It may be time for Sony to start cultivating different IP to launch new franchises. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, obviously Spider-Man is huge, but like, yeah, it's just really hard to build up an entire cinematic universe just around his rogues gallery. Like, I'm not saying that you couldn't do it, but you need to make movies that are really fucking good, and they just haven't been doing that. You know what? I also think that fans should probably be terrified right now because considering the fact that their cinematic universe isn't working out, I think that there is a pretty good chance that Sony just takes Spider-Man back from Marvel. I think that there's a very good chance that Sony is like, all right, listen, you'll have Spider-Man 4. But then you gotta do in Secret Wars, you gotta write Spider-Man back into our universe. Okay? We tried to do it without him. We failed. Okay, we're taking Tom Holland and Tom Holland is fighting Morbius and Kraven the Hunting Man. I think that that's probably what's going to happen if I'm being completely honest. I think Sony, now that they realize that they can't do it without Marvel or that they can't do it without Spider-Man, I think they're going to try to do I don't see them giving up on the whole cinematic universe thing, but I think they're going to try to have Spider-Man back in their universe. Which is horrifying, obviously, if you're a Spider-Man fan. Sony has several projects surrounding the web slinger, which have been very popular so far. Sony will co-produce the upcoming Spider-Man 4 with Marvel Studios, as well as Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. The studio will also focus on the upcoming Spider Noir series for Prime Video starring Nicolas Cage. So, I mean, that's a decent point, right? Like, Sony does have other things going on. Like, they're not stopping working on projects, right? The Spider-Verse films have been successful. And that weird, like, Spider-Man Noir Amazon Prime show is also a thing. So, you know, it's not like they're done making Spider-Man content. Honestly, I still don't understand why don't they have a Spider person be the Spider-Man or Spider-Woman of their universe? Like, I get that you can't use Peter Parker, and you kind of can't use Miles Morales because he's in the animated movies, but it's like, why not just grab one of the many other ones, right? Like, I remember when they were doing the Silk animated series, or not animated series, but they were also doing a live action Silk Amazon Prime series. I remember I was like, why are you not making a Silk movie? Like, make a Silk movie and have her be the Spider person of your universe. And you may be asking, well, nobody knows or cares about Silk. And to that I say, sure, but they're making these fucking movies anyways when nobody knows or cares about any of these characters. So it's like, they're doing this anyways. Why not do the logical thing and just have another Spider person that isn't Peter Parker be the Spider person of your universe? Like, why not? Like, go for it. I don't know. Like, if you're going to do this anyways, like, actually go for it. So I've always thought that was weird. The only thing that made me wonder is also, like, maybe their contract with Marvel Studios states that Sony can't make a live action Spider-Person movie. Maybe it's not just relegated to Peter Parker. That could be it, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't know. Like, their whole approach just always confused the hell out of me. Sony Spider-Man universe had mixed reactions. The first installment in the SSU was 2018's Venom, which was a major commercial success. The movie grossed $856 million against a $116 million budget. I mean, at the end of the day, I blame all of you. Okay, you gave Sony false hope. Okay, you gave them the impression that we wanted this. That's all on you. That's all on you, the general audience. Okay? Further adding $70.7 million from DVD and Blu-ray sales, it's also the most successful film in the SSU. I guess they're calling it the Sony Spider-Man universe. As the further two installments, 2021's Venom, Let There Be Carnage only grossed $501.5 million against a similar budget of $110 million. And the final entry, 2024's Venom The Last Dance, made $472.8 million. So, I mean, that's the other thing about the Venom franchise is even though the Venom franchise has overall been a winner, they've also seen diminishing returns. So, at this point, even if you were to bring back Tom Hardy as Venom, there's not actually much like there really isn't much indication that would even be a success. So, I mean, yeah, they really are at a standstill here. Sony premiered two more films in the SSU, 2022's Morbius and Madam Web. The Jared Leto-led superhero film managed to gross enough to cover its $75 million budget as it ended its theatrical run with $162.7 million. Jesus. But its poor quality led to endless internet memes. The superhero movie has a shockingly low score of only 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, but an encouraging 71% from the audience. I mean, listen, I understand that there's a lot of this like narrative out there that it's like, oh, the critics are always wrong. The general audience scores, that's the only score that I pay attention to because audiences, they know what they're talking about, not these stinky critics. And then we look at this. Is this your king? Is this your fucking king? I rest my case. Madam Web, which premiered earlier this year, wasn't as lucky. The Dakota Johnson-led film, which also starred Sydney Sweeney, had an even poorer reception than Morbius. It grossed only $100 million against an $80 million budget and has an even poorer score on Rotten Tomatoes. Only 11% from the critics and 55% from the audience. I want to say this. I love Madam Web. Madam Web is, in my opinion, the room of comic book movies. It is so bad that it is fucking amazing. Like, every 5 minutes in that movie, there would be some insane, like, thing that would happen that made me laugh out loud. It's like, every 5 minutes, there would be, like, a Pepsi ad. Every 5 minutes, there would be like the villain having like obviously ADR dialogue. Like there would be a scene where the villain is speaking but his mouth isn't moving. Like every 5 minutes there would be some like bizarre scene where they're like in the woods and there are a bunch of fucking Spider-Men crawling around. Like every 5 minutes there would be like a scene where they're like practicing CPR in a fucking motel room and it's just like, what is this? What is happening? I fucking love Madam Web. Bro, if all of the sump was Madam Web's, we would be having a different story. Anyways, Kraven the Hunting Boy has an even more difficult journey ahead. So far, there are no official scores from the critics or the audience, but the film has a $130 million budget, which means it needs at least $260 million to $300 million to make a profit. Sony didn't spend as much time promoting the upcoming R-rated film, which stars Aaron Taylor Johnson as the titular character, and it will face titles like Nosferatu and Mufasa the Lion King in the upcoming weeks. So, yeah, man, Kraven the Hunting Boy seems like it is, how did the kids say, cooked? It appears like it's probably going to take an L. Can we get L Kraven the Hunters in the chat? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see this, I don't see this movie being particularly good. Based on the first 8 minutes that they released online desperately, I reacted to it on the channel. I don't think it looks like horrible, to be fair. I think it actually seems like it's probably going to be better than Morbius or Madam Web, but that's almost a detriment to it because I think at best this movie is going to be like whatever, and you're not going to get any like super positive reception, and you're also not going to get any of the like meme receptions of it being like a so bad it's good kind of movie. So yeah, overall, it seems like there's really nothing going for Kraven the Hunter at the moment, and it seems like it will be the end of the sunk of the Sony universe of Marvel characters. It's actually interesting. Like we are living through the death of many cinematic, or not many, but we're living through the death of cinematic universes. Like we've seen the end of the DCEU with Aquaman. Like that was kind of a surreal moment, and it's gonna be kind of surreal. And on Thursday, when I get to witness the end of the Sony Spider-Man universe or whatever, that's gonna be kind of interesting. Am I gonna feel bad because I am choosing Kraven the Hunting Boy over the Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim? Yeah, I do. Because I'm choosing it because I think it'll be more fun to talk about on the channel than a new Lord of the Rings movie. But I'm still gonna watch it, and I'll review it on Friday. But on Thursday, I'll watch Kraven the Hunting Lad, and then on Friday I'll watch the Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Although that movie isn't getting super great reviews either. But anyways, keep subscribe to the channel, ring the bell or whatever to get notified whenever I upload. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know your overall thoughts on the Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters. And with that, I say, Eminem, we miss you.